Hey crypto friends, currently battling a cold, so going to keep it fairly simple and concise with our four major names here. And we have a bull bounce. So the bulls showed up this morning with our zoom out game. We know that if we get over 4-hour exponential resistances, which we did, and we are now back testing, we then zoom out to the daily and we look at the daily exponential resistances. And any bounce on Bitcoin under $4,042 or 4,000, we'll just call it 4,115, anything under that's a daily lower high. So we're watching the weekly time frame. It's possible to form a weekly high or low, but we have to change the daily trend back in favor of the bulls to be confident in that. So the best case scenario for the bulls, pending any kind of, major news or catalyst or anything like that, we're going to look for a daily lower high to be set compared to 41.15. Then if we can see healthy consolidation and then continuation, that will change the daily trend. Then we'll have our weekly high or low and a nice tightening range into next week. So that's what we're watching right now. First thing I want to know is, number one, can the bulls hold the 4-hour exponential support on the back test? The significant bull move here on the 5-minute time frame came out of nowhere. Again, happened in pretty much 10 minutes, but did end up getting a little bit of follow through. 3,700 clear resistance, and seeing other exchanges reject from that level as well. We did get a higher high, but smacked right back down after only getting $6 above that level. So the volume came out of nowhere. This is one of the scenarios where, early in the morning, I posted my chart on TradingView like always. And at that point, we had set the lower high on the 4-hour and we were starting to pull back a little bit. And I was watching for the potential of a bear break into a bull move, as we've seen in previous past, where we break a support and instantly see bulls buy that dip. Because we had already seen a couple legs down, that was a scenario I was looking out for. But obviously, we didn't get that lower low. The bulls just showed up. So 4-hour consolidation, back testing the exponential support. 3,700 stands out as resistance from back on a previous bounce attempt a few days ago, and we're still struggling with that level. If we put our line there, we can see we're rejecting from it. But if the bulls can form a 4-hour high or low and see continuation, that will be a notable change in trend on the 4-hour. At this point, the 4-hour trend has not changed. The odds that we're going to form a 4-hour high or low are very likely due to the size of the bounce, but we need the higher low and higher high confirmation because this move on the 4-hour is coming straight off the low. We have not consolidated to form a higher low since that bottom. So I'm watching for a daily lower high to be set. And the question is, can the bulls form a higher low and higher high on the daily to give us a nice tightening weekly range to be watching for the rest of the month, essentially? ETH, very similar. The daily bounce, we're just looking for a lower high. Anything under 160 is a lower high. So a ton of space for the bears to stay in control. If we change, again, we have a lot more space on the weekly. So this is the weekly chart trying to form a higher low now, which would be pretty healthy if they could pull this off. If we can change this daily trend on ETH, if we can see a bull move, set the lower high, pull back, form a higher low, and let's just draw it here so you can see it here. Higher low, look at those lines. And then a higher high. Daily trend change. That's when the weekly time frame is going to be a lot more enticing for the bulls to give us that higher low and make another attempt at the weekly exponential resistance, which rejected the 3 weeks of this previous bounce attempt here. So I'm more interested in Ethereum and Litecoin because this weekly higher low on these names is a lot more appealing than the Bitcoin higher low. Again, there's not as much space percentage-wise on Bitcoin, but obviously we need to see the Bitcoin bulls show up for the Ethereum and Litecoin bulls to show up as well. Litecoin a little bit weaker. The break did not break the high of yesterday, 32.88. Well, I take it back. We broke by 8 cents, but essentially a double top. So if we look at that on the 4-hour time frame, we can still see there's clear resistance at these levels. We did not get over the exponential resistance to back test and try and hold it as support. Here's Ethereum where we are as well, similar to Bitcoin, but Litecoin not at that point. Litecoin, bulls are hoping for a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders pattern with the left shoulder, the head, healthy 4-hour consolidation, and then a clear bull break over 43 would be ideal to get this daily bounce getting some follow through. Because again, the more we bounce on this daily chart before we set that lower high, the more space we have for that higher low to form, which is why Litecoin and Ethereum are more attractive on the weekly time frame. We want to see as big a bounce on the daily as possible to give the bulls more space to work with to form that higher low. XRP continues to stand out as one of the weaker names comparatively just because we have not seen a clear break of the lower highs aside from that quick little fluke before the dump. But anything under 4.40 cents, 4.05, anything under that is a lower high. Weekly time frame has a higher low opportunity here as well to change the trend. If we can change the daily trend with a higher low and a higher high wherever we top out from, then the weekly chart will have our higher low established, and we'll look at the weekly tightening range into February. So, pretty good day for the bulls. They need more follow through. We need to see continuation with a 4-hour higher low and higher high to give the bulls more space to work with on the daily chart to try and form a higher low and a higher high there to try and form a higher low and a higher high on the weekly. So, hopefully you can see at this point how it's all fractals of just different time frames where we're looking for the same thing. Have to see it on the 4-hour, then we'll have to see it on the daily, and then we have to see it on the weekly for that weekly trend change that we're so patiently waiting for a year plus at this point. And congrats to the bulls that were in on that bounce. I personally did not play it. I am patiently waiting for some more clarity on the longer term time frames, the daily and the weekly chart. And right now we're going to be looking to test the daily exponential resistances if we do get any follow through. So into tonight, bulls want to ensure that the 4-hour consolidation is healthy, ideally holding exponential supports. Bulls want to see a 4-hour bull cross of those exponential moving averages, which would mean we likely see a higher low and higher high if that were going to happen. And the only red flags from here would be a big bear volume spike and a loss of the hourly exponential support. So just like we were playing the exponential resistance game, the zoom out game, the past couple days, we're now playing it as support. So the hourly exponential moving average is support. If we lose that, we'll zoom into the 15-minute. Well, actually, there's the 15-minute. We're losing it now. I was going the wrong way. So we start with the 15-minute. So we're potentially losing the 15-minute exponential support. So we zoom out to the hourly, looking to still hold the hourly and looking to still hold the 4-hour at this point. So we'll see if we get any follow through. Need to see another green day tomorrow with that 4-hour higher low and higher high to give the bulls a chance to change that daily trend and a chance to form that weekly higher low. I hope you're well. I hope you do some good things out there. And I hope I feel better. I'll see you soon.